Hello, listeners. My name is Sudha. We are reading the book IkiGai, and we are on chapter 6. So, we'll start reading chapter 6. It says Lessons from Japan's Centenarians, Traditions and Proverbs for Happiness and Longevity. To get to Ogimi, we had to fly nearly 3 hours from Tokyo to Naha, the capital of Okinawa. Several months earlier, we had contacted the town council of a place known as the Village of Longivity to explain the purpose of our trip and our intention to interview the oldest members of the community. After numerous conversations, we finally got the help we were looking for and were able to rent a house just outside the town. 1 year after starting this project, we found ourselves on the doorstep of some of the longest living people in the world. We realized right away that time seems to have stopped there, as though the entire town was living in an endless here and now. Arriving in Ogimi. After 2 hours on the road from Naha, we were finally able to stop worrying about the traffic. To our left are the sea and an empty stretch of beach. To our right, the mountains jungle of Okinawa's Yanbaru forests. Once Route 58 passes Nago, where Orion beer, the pride of Okinawa, is made. It skirts the coast until it reaches Ogimi. Every now and then, a few little houses and stores crop up in the narrow stretch of land between the road and the base of the mountain. We pass small clusters of houses scattered here and there as we enter the municipality of Ogimi, but the town doesn't really seem to have a center. Our GPS finally guides us to our destination, the Center for the Support and Promotion of Well-being, housed in an unattractive cinder block building right off the highway. We go in through the back door where a man named Tyra is waiting for us. Beside him is a petite, cheerful woman who introduces herself as Yuki. Two other women immediately get up from desks and show us to a conference room. They serve us each a cup of green tea and a few shikuwasa, a small citrus fruit that packs a big nutritional punch, as we will see later. Tyra sits down across from us in his formal suit and opens a large planner and a 3-ring binder. Yuki sits next to him. The binder contains a list of all the town's residents, organized by age and club or moai. Tyra points out that these groups of people who help one another are characteristics of Ogimi. The moai, moai, are not organized around any concrete objective. They function more like a family. Tyra also tells us that volunteer work rather than money drives much of what happens in Ogimi. Everyone offers to pitch in, and the local government takes care of assigning tasks. This way, everyone can be useful and feels like a part of the community. Ogimi is the penultimate town before Cape Hedo, the northernmost point of the largest island in the archipelago. From the top of one of Ogimi's mountains, we are able to look down over the whole town. Almost everything is the green of the Yanbaru jungle, making us wonder where the nearly 3,200 residents are hiding. We can see a few houses, but they are scattered in little clusters near the sea or in small valleys accessible by sea roads. Communal life. We are invited to eat in one of Ogimi's few restaurants, but when we arrive, the only 3 tables are already reserved. Don't worry, we will go to Choraumi instead. It never fills up, says Yuki, walking back to her car. She is still driving at age 88 and takes great pride in that. Her co-pilot is 99 and has also decided to spend the day with us. We have to drive fast to keep up with them on a highway that is sometimes more dirt than asphalt. Finally reaching the other end of the jungle, we can at last sit down to eat. I don't really go to restaurants, Yuki says as we take our seats. Almost everything I eat comes from my vegetable garden, and I buy my fish from Tanaka, who's been my friend forever. The restaurant is right by the sea and seems like something from the planet Tatooine from Star Wars. The menu boasts in large letters that it serves slow food prepared with organic vegetables grown in the town. But really, Yuki continues, food is the least important thing. She is extroverted and rather pretty. She likes to talk about her role as the director of several associations run by the local government. Food won't help you live longer, she says. And I am a foodie here reading out books. I love to eat. Food won't help you live longer, she says, bringing to her lips a bite of the diminutive confection that followed our meal. The secret is smiling and having a good time. There are no bars and only a few restaurants in Ogimi, but those who live there enjoy a rich social life that revolves around community centers. The town is divided into 17 neighborhoods, and each one has a president and several people in charge of things like culture, festivals, social activities, and longevity. Residents pay close attention to this last category. We are invited to the community center of one of the 17 neighborhoods. It is an old building right next to one of the mountains of the Yanbaru jungle, home to Bunagaya, the town's iconic sprites. The Bunagaya spirits of the Yanbaru jungle. Bunagaya are magical creatures that inhabit the Yanbaru jungle near Ogimi and its surrounding towns. They manifest as children with long red hair and like to hide in the jungle's gajumaru, banyan trees, and go fishing on the beach. Many of Okinawa's stories and fables are about Bunagaya sprites. They are mischievous, playful, and unpredictable. Locals say that the Bunagaya love the mountains, rivers, sea, tree, earth, wind, and animals, and that if you want to befriend them, you have to show respect for nature. A birthday party. When we arrive at the neighborhood's community center, we are greeted by a group of about 20 people who proudly proclaim the youngest among us is 83. We conduct our interviews at a large table while drinking green tea. When we finish, we are brought to an event space where we celebrate the birthdays of 3 members of the group. One woman is turning 99, another 94, and one young man has just reached 89. We sing a few songs popular in the village and finish up with happy birthday in English. The woman turning 99 blows out the candles and thanks everyone for coming to her party. We eat homemade shikuwasha cake and end up dancing and celebrating as though it were the birthday of a 20-something. It's the first party but not the last that we will attend during our week in the village. We will also do karaoke with a group of seniors who sing better than we do, and attend a traditional festival with local brands and dancers and food stands at the foot of a mountain. Celebrate each day together. Celebrations seem to be an essential part of life in Ogimi. We are invited to watch a game of gate ball, one of the most popular sports among Okinawa's older residents. It involves hitting a ball with a mallet-like stick. It is a low-impact sport that can be played anywhere and is a good excuse to move around and have fun as a group. The residents hold local competitions and there is no age limit for participants. We participate in the weekly game and lose to a woman who recently turned 104. Everyone cheers and the defeated look on our faces elicits laughter. In addition to playing and celebrating as a community, spirituality is also essential to the happiness of the village's residents. The gods of Okinawa. The main religion in Okinawa is known as Yukyu Shinto. Yukyu is the original name of the Okinawa archipelago, and Shinto means the path of the gods. Yukyu Shinto combines elements of Chinese Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Shintoism with shamanistic or animistic elements. According to this ancient faith, the world is populated by an infinite number of spirits divided into several types: spirits of the home, of the forest, of the trees, and of the mountains. It is important to appease these spirits through rituals and festivals and by consecrating sacred grounds. Okinawa is full of sacred jungles and forests, where many of the two main kinds of temples are found, the Utaki and the Uganju. We visited an Uganju, or small, open air temple adorned with incense and coins, next to a waterfall in Ugimi. The Utaki is a collection of stones where people go to pray and where supposedly spirits gather. In Okinawa's religious practice, women are considered spiritually superior to men, whereas the opposite is true of traditional Shintoism in the rest of Japan. Yuta are women chosen as mediums by their communities to make contact with the spirit realm through traditional rites. Ancestor worship is another important feature of spiritual practice in Okinawa and in Japan in general. The home of each generation's firstborn usually contains a butsudan or small altar used to pray for and make offerings of the family's ancestor.